Very few magicians in the world have defied the laws of the universe with their unbelievable tricks. While the awe-inspiring magic keeps you frozen in thought, the curiosity to figure out the answer is what makes the next trick even more enjoyable. So, be it the great Indian rope trick or the infamous bullet catch, hello and welcome back. And today we are gonna unlock the greatest magic secrets of all time. So, let's get started. The first trick, the Great Indian Rope Trick. Everyone has heard of the Great Indian Rope Trick, but there are very few in this world who have actually seen it being performed. Sometimes described as the world's greatest illusion, the rope trick came into existence in India during the 19th century. So, let's look at how the magic trick is performed. The magician brings along a coil of what appears to be a long piece of rope. He also makes sure that everything's fair by showing everyone that the rope and the basket has no gimmick inside. Now, with the help of an assistant, he keeps that rope inside a basket and places it in an open field. Then the magician starts playing and waving around an instrument called a punji. And now, the great magic happens. The rope uncoils itself and starts levitating with absolutely no external support. Even more so, the rope, which looks very stiff, keeps rising high up to almost 20 feet in the air. Then the magician calls a boy assistant, known as a jamura in India, who climbs up the rope and then descends. Finally, the magician makes the rope to fall down, thus ending this amazing illusion. So, how did he make the rope to climb high up in the air? Well, here's the secret. Now, some of you would say that there's a bamboo rod covered with the rope, and that bamboo comes straight from below the ground with a person sitting underground who pushes the rod above, but that's not the case here, as it would be very expensive to dig underground and create the whole setup. So, let's think further. If you observe carefully, there's a moment when the assistant places the basket at a specific spot on the ground. Now, that spot has a hole under it which was covered all this while by the flowers. The flowers are removed from that spot, and the basket's center is then aligned to the hole underneath. Also, the hole is big enough to let the rope pass through it if someone pushes it from underneath the ground. But who controls this whole mechanism? Well, there's another assistant somewhere behind the crowd, and he's the one who pushes a metal rod with high tensile strength in the tunnel built underground just below the surface. Also, the rod is flexible enough to bend and straighten out at the opening. So, before the magician covers the lid, the basket's bottom has an opening, where the assistant carefully coils the rope into the basket with the open end at last for the metal rod to pass through. Also, the rope is thick and custom-made and is hollow from the inside, so that a metal rod can easily pass through from its center. Even the brief glimpse of the dark end of rope also possibly reveals that it is a hose. Now, once the music starts, the second assistant pushes the rope with the metal rod inside the ground, which opens the basket's lid and then pushes it all the way up. This creates the illusion of the rope levitating on its own. Also, the base of the rope with the metal rod inside it is put on a solid surface so that the rope doesn't come back when the boy climbs over it. When the boy comes back to the ground, notice how the boy grasps the rope and his hand is tugged downward as the metal rod is quickly withdrawn from inside the rope, leaving only the rope, which then collapses quickly. This creates the illusion that the rope is controlled by the magician. The second trick, the infamous magic bullet trick. Now, this trick is one of the world's most dangerous illusions, where the magician attempts to catch a speeding bullet in his teeth. And you should never try this at home or anywhere else. This one's a classic trick, creating an awesome heart-and-mouth moment for the audience, but at the same time shows you the darker side of the magical world. Here, the famous magic duo Penn and Teller take this stunt one notch higher. They call upon two spectators and tell them to confirm if the bullets are real, and also mark their initials on the bullet so that the audience can identify it after they catch it with their teeth. They then set up a glass pane between them to demonstrate that the bullets have been really fired. They even employ laser sights to show their targets. As soon as the magic duo sees the glass shatter, they have just a fraction of a second to catch the bullet in their teeth, and this is exactly what happens. Now, with the advent of modern firearms, this trick presents more of a challenge for modern-day magicians. So, how did they manage to catch those bullets? Well, before revealing the secret, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get instant notifications of our new video uploads. Now, let's quickly get to the secret. Obviously, the magic duo isn't crazy enough to try and catch a bullet in their teeth. Actually, they are smarter than that. It involves the key skills on the part of the magicians, i.e., a lot of preparation, misdirection, and sleight of hand. There are two things which we need to look at. The first thing is how determined they are about getting close-up shots of the initials on both bullets. And the second one is the placement of the bulletproof vests towards the back of the stage, behind the foam wall. So it becomes clear. There is an assistant at the backstage who traces the initials on each bullet using a TV monitor and puts the duplicate bullets into their vest through a hole in the wall where they are hanging. Notice there's enough time for the duplicate bullets to be designed, as they put on the vests not at the start, but quite late into the trick. Also, the duplicate bullets are easier to design as the initials are less detailed and much easier to trace from the time it's first shown on camera. But when do they load those bullets into their mouth? Well, if you look carefully, at this moment, when they hold the vests over their heads, they secretly put those duplicate bullets from the inside flap of each vest into their mouth. It's all sleight of hand. There, did you see it? There's a brief pause mid-sentence when he puts the bullet into his mouth.
What were loaded was you yourself.
Coming to the last part, the bullets which were loaded into the gun appeared to be real, but they're actually wax bullets. When the gun is fired, the wax melts on firing, leaving behind only the casing. And the spray of hot wax is what puts holes in the pane of glass. Also, if we slow down the video, you can see that a projectile does come out of each barrel, but never reaches the other performer. This confirms that the bullets were most likely wax. Finally, the magic duo pops out the specially designed signed bullets out of their mouth, only to reveal them after pulling the trigger, ending this amazing performance. So finally, the last, but a very interesting trick on our list, the French bread illusion. Now, this magic trick performed by Wang Yifeng is from a different universe. In this trick, he takes a piece of dough and then folds it, as he massages it slowly, leaving the people in the restaurant waiting eagerly to see what the dough would turn into. All of a sudden, he surprises the crowd by pulling out a long piece of bread known as a French baguette out of nowhere. So, how did he magically transform the dough into a long loaf of bread? Well, let's figure out the secret. This trick grabbed a lot of attention worldwide when it was first shown on YouTube and various social platforms. Even the news channels weren't far from revealing what's behind the trick. One assumption was that there's a tube inserted into the wall, and the loaf of bread was fed through that tube and into the magician's arm. Now, this is not possible as he is sitting quite far from the wall behind him. While this assumption turned out to be a hoax, let's figure out some other way as to how the trick was performed. Many of you know the famous digital sleight of hand magician Zach King, who uses his amazing editing skills to create a visual masterpiece. And Yifeng performed this illusion using a combination of camera tricks and computer-edited effects. Also, many magicians use this technique quite often in their shows. Here, the magician shot two footages, one where he pulls out the bread and the other one when the crowd reacts to the illusion. Now, the bread part was computer-edited using a technique called chroma key enabled, and for this part, the green color was keyed to the background. This green color became transparent, giving an illusion that the bread came out of nowhere, probably from inside his arm. Also, if we look in the video, here, just below his arm, you can see a tiny blurred effect for a fraction of a second, which confirms the fact that the video was computer-edited using chroma keying. Now, if we say that the bread was chroma keyed and hidden in the background, how could the crowd present there not see the long piece of bread without the computer effect being applied? Well, they're also in on this trick. And the editing effect, combined with the crowd reaction, made this perfect illusion possible. So guys, hope you got the secrets behind the greatest magic tricks of all time. Which trick was your favorite one? The rope trick? The magic bullet? or the French bread illusion. And name any other video topics you would like us to create. Tell us in the comments below. Do like and share this video with your friends on social media. For more such amazing things, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And finally, thanks for watching.